There you go. We're good to go.
Thank you so much, Rujan. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to you all to yet another session of Tiffin Talks. Today we have with us the stalwarts of the much acclaimed web series Arya, which is streaming live on Disney Hotstar. I welcome Ram Madhwani, the director of the show, along with actors Chandrachur Singh and Sikandar Khair to this show. And they will have a candid chat with none other than Kaveri Bamzai, author and senior journalist. A few tips for the people who are joining us here on Zoom. Please make sure that your video feed is off all the times and you're on mute. Over to you, Kaveri. Please take us through. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to have Ram Madhwani, Sikandar Khair, and Chandrachur Singh. I think this the happiest threesome I've had for a long time. And I just found out, Ram, that Chandrachur taught Sikandar in Doon School. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what a wonderful alignment of stars to make Arya, right? And, you know, there's another connection I found. Chandrachur was with Miss World in Josh, and he's with Miss Universe in, you know, Arya. So he seems to be doing something right, huh? 20 years later, and he comes back with a bang, romancing Miss Universe. So wonderful coincidences and just the perfect alignment to make really, which is, it's one of the most gripping series I've seen in a long time.
Thank you.
But it mustn't have been easy. So talk about the process.
This, you know, I'll get Chandrachur to start off because we've missed him so much
Yes.
that it's not fair for me to start. We want to hear you, sir, first.
That's the first
That's
use.
great, yes.
Pehle aap, sir. No, sir, go ahead. No, tell us.
Yeah, Chandrachur, really, it's been so long that you've been back on the screen, but you just fill it up so beautifully. You know, it's just so lovely to have you back.
Actually, there's been a lot of beauty in the entire making of Arya, the results which have come from Arya. Because, you know, to work with Ram has been a huge privilege. When this opportunity came my way, as you said, you know, things have aligned themselves in such a perfect manner so that, you know, a team of people could get together and make something which is very exceptional. That we are blessed by the Lord above, actually, for the stupendous response that we've received and for the way it went about the entire journey of Arya. He's such a good human being.
Yeah, the reason, Kaveri, I said Chandrachur should go first is so he could say nice things about me.
He's done that. But you know, we need to say nice things about you too, Chandrachur, because there is something so effortless about the way you are, the way you inhabit the screen. Did it at any point seem like you'd been away for far too long? Was there a little awkwardness when you went back on set? Or were you just comfortable?
I just felt comfortable once I, you know, met Ram. Then I met Sushmita and the children with Vinod Rawat, who's conducting the acting workshops.
Right.
I felt I'd walked into family.
Yeah.
There was a sense of security that I felt when I met Ram. I was, you know, I didn't know who I'm going to be meeting, but he was so warm and he was so nice. And he's been like that with everyone on set from the beginning to right up till now. He's been so good with everyone. And it's a very rare set to work on. It's a extremely positive atmosphere and extremely democratic and, you know, kind to everyone. Ram has a way of being so nice to everyone and caring about everyone, which actually makes our work easy. And to work in a sort of circumstance which is basically unusually positive and full of you know, just full of positivity and kindness and joy and happiness and love.
But, you know, Kaveri, the thing is that I'm really in the service of my actor.
Right.
They are not in the service of me. I'm here that is my job. I'm in the service of the actor, they are in service of their character.
Right.
And so the hierarchy is very clear. So in the hierarchy, I'm way down the chain.
No, but I'm not just talking about the actor. I'm talking about sensitivity that you showed to everybody on set, and you were caring and very kind to everyone on set. And if that's the way you've conducted your whole life, of course, which is why you got such good work out of everyone and such happiness and joy and a very conducive work atmosphere for all of us. Because, you know, we gave our best because the leader, it starts with the leader. The leader was so good that it became so easy. Of course,
How
it's
important was the sorry? How important was the acting workshop?
It was very important because, you know, it does seem daunting to come into work after such a long time and then come to a different style of work, which actually was quite helpful in a way, you know, because we knew we'll be doing long sequences which are going to be very. There's going to be a lot of improv. There's going to be, you know, Ram. I remember took the entire scene on the first day of shoot with Sushmita. Read the scene out and said, "I tear up the scene. Now you do what you need to do. Follow the basic milestones. Do not practice dialogue. Do not practice anything." We would have long shots, which we got used to because of the workshop. Extremely long shots, you know, scenes which were 10, 12 pages long sequences with three cameras, 2 cameras, consistently shooting the whole thing extempo. Each time there was a different take, almost. And there was a lot of creativity going on, which is so unusual because we were used to a certain style of filmmaking where you have limitations. Here, there was a lot of modern art happening, you know. Acha ye nahi hai to wo karo. If you see the docu also in the making, go, hug. Okay, now do this. Now I'm saying that, you know. So it was, I need a little more guilt. I need a little more tears. And there was no glycerine used. There was nothing used. So while we were doing when we got into the character during the course of the workshop, it became so easy to walk on to set. And then Ram took us through this process of being on set where actually took me, you know, into my wardrobe in my room, and there was such an array of suits, you know, which were never even shown in the film. But I felt as if it's my home, you know, suits in my cupboard, a huge shoe rack with lots of stuff lying there, you know, all designer shoes, designer clothes, the kind of character Tej is, you know, his accessories, the entire geography of the house and how I would be living if I was actually Tej. And we were dressed by a character. So this entire workshop became an exercise in breaking down the actor to become the character. So we became the character because we knew, you know, there is going to be stuff where there's going to be 10-minute long shots, 20-minute long shots, and 15-minute long shots, maybe even, you know, longer. The wedding sequence went on for such a long time. So an actor was always on their guard. So it became very edgy. It became, there was a lot of improv, and it was very, very nice. And I think the workshops also broke the ice because, you know, they went into our lives. They got to know more about us as human beings. And I think that was incorporated somewhere as part of their modern art shooting creative team. To incorporate, you know, maybe certain traits of Sikandar into the Daulat or certain traits of Chandrachud into Tej. So there was, you know, amalgamation of stuff happening, and it really helped. Really, Vinod Rawat conducted acting workshops.
He's also our co-director, along with Sandeep Modi, the co-creator.
Yeah, absolutely. Sandeep Modi and Vinod Rawat, and of course, Ram Madhvani sir. What a wonderful experience.
I believe each one of you carried something that belonged to you to the set or the home. Is that true?
That was part of it, yes, of course.
What did you carry with you?
Me, they asked a lot of photographs of my, you know, of my life to be put on the walls in the house. Some of them for basically stuff like what is required to show Tej so many years before. So all that became part of the memories of the house also.
Right. How nice. So you must have felt at home. Where was it shot, Ram? Where was this house?
Well, it was shot actually in Mud Island.
Okay.
The bungalow was shot there, but some of it has also been shot in Thana. Some of it has been shot in Rajasthan.
Right.
So it was in many locations. I just want to spend one more minute talking about the process, because the process can get slightly, I respect the script a lot. Obviously, we've adapted it also from Penosa. but it's a bit like, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little cow for the next 2 minutes as I explain
Go
this.
ahead, go ahead.
It's a bit like a rag composition, right? You have been given the rag.
Yeah.
And now you know that within the rag, you will have to come back to some, and you will have to have these notes that you will have to play. Those notes are given. That is the script. And what we do is we follow, the script is sacred. Of course, it is there. Everything has to be written down.
Right.
But for the actor to arrive at that, it's not done in the traditional process of action and cut. I don't say action and cut. I try and see how I can bring scenes before action and cut. And also it means that the actor, therefore, now has to arrive at that sum. I mean, at the note and at the beat and at the tal, when he feels that he must, knowing that he must, because what has happened is that there's a Jugalbandi, which is with 3 or 4, 10, 15, 100 people that is being played.
Right.
And I feel a little arrogant when I say this, but our jobs as directors is to create a world, and the world is only created through the dance of the cosmos. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is in
I
this
think-
Nataraj Shiva like dance that you do, there is destiny. It's writ. The script is writ. That is your destiny. That must be played out. How it plays out, when it plays out, are things which become part of the sort of dance that we do with each other in the sort of jazz meets rag way of music.
Right.
Sorry, I know perhaps I'm speaking a little philosophically about the process, but it's the way to get to truth. That's the result. I try and embrace theater and documentary filmmaking and fiction, only so that my actors can actually arrive at reality and truth and something that they can believe. So I try and free them.
Were there moments when Sikandar and Chandrachud surprised you, when they did something that just was so different from what you had imagined and yet so brilliant?
You know, to me, this is a privilege actually that happens to me every day on set. So what happens is that because I'm creating the energy and I'm capturing the energy. I'm not in the business of capturing. I'm in the business of capturing a feeling, and I have to make my actor arrive at that feeling, because if he feels it, then only can I capture it. Because so it's like a butterfly net, which I have to go out there and capture. But I'm surprised all the time. Like, for instance, when I see, I'll give you 2 particular instances. When I see Chandrachud, for instance, when he comes home, and we had done the scene of him coming home, which is the big argument that he has with his wife, which is really, in a way, the inciting incident that leads to so many things that he does. When he had that argument with Arya, and we hadn't yet shot any of that backstory, right? But I'm constantly surprised at these actors when they come into a scene, knowing obviously we've taken them through it, but for him to feel what he has gone through without having gone through it. To me, when I watch him put that whiskey glass down, when I watch him put his hair up, I really believe he's gone, his wife has just said to him that I'm going to divorce you. And then I look at him and I say, I mean, in those moments, I am reminded, in those moments, I looked at it, I said, I'm reminded of Robert De Niro on screen. I'm reminded of Gerard Depardieu. I'm reminded of these actors. And therefore, those moments were like a privilege to see, as even with Sikandar. I remember, this is episode 9, so it's a spoiler alert.
I think most of us have seen it.
Have seen it. But still, what happens is that there is a moment when there is the arrow of it's an arrow of Arya's eyes that and hit him. Okay, and we've orchestrated the whole scene so that this arrow is meant to come and pierce his heart, and it's meant to kill him because he knows he's guilty, right? Now he's standing there. We've done the whole memorial scene, so to say, and he's standing there and he's standing there and he's standing there, And when the camera goes to him, because I don't do it so that, the actor is sort of looking at a mark or a thermocol or whatever.
Yeah.
All actors are there 360 degrees.
Right.
When the camera goes to him, actually she is looking at him, and all he does, and that is what I call as to show versus to be.
Right.
What he's doing there is being. He's not showing.
Yeah.
What he is being is actually, and it's an amazing moment for me, because all he does is he moves just his eyeball. he just puts his eyeball down. That's it. And I look at that scene and I say, my gosh, how was he at the receiving end of something that kills him? But he cannot show it, because a lot of the time what we are doing in life is social masking. And a lot of these actors therefore were trained to, again, the differences between to do the doable, the sayable, and the thinkable. And and in life, all three are not the same ever. You're saying something.
The doable and
the doable, the sayable, and the thinkable.
Okay, right.
So what happens is that in life, we are never doing all three simultaneously. I'm sounding a bit like a geek director right now.
No, I love it. So, it's like a masterclass,
I hope your audience allows me to just speak about something that I have learned systems from watching behind the scenes with Pedro de Almodovar directing Penelope Cruz.
Right.
And the systems that even people like Inarritu follow. And then obviously I don't anywhere mean to compare myself. I'm like sort of way down there when I look at the wedding sequence of Godfather or the wedding sequence of Babel, and I'm trying to do a wedding sequence and saying, my gosh, I'm failing. So, but anyway,
not bad.
I'll move to Sikandar.
But absolutely, Ram. I think the thing about Sikandar's character and the way he played it is the stillness, and it's remarkable. Sikandar's not a small man. He's quite a hulk of a man. To be so still and not to show off, as you said, not to show, but to be.
Just to be,
Yeah. Sikandar, how tough was it or how difficult was it to get into this Daulat's character? He's quite a remarkable character.
No, I kept telling Sir also throughout the shoot that this is definitely the toughest thing that I've ever done. I've never experienced something like this. So as a role for me to play, it was really tough in that way, because with all respect to every actor and every film that I've also done, I started feeling like a dialogue is a crutch. So I did not have the crutch of a dialogue. So I'm just there, and if I would say something also, they'd be like, less now, do less than that also. So, like if I just do that also, they'll no, become a wall almost, be stone. No, but I can't literally be stone now, can I? So, because then there's no point. But just that process and a lot of doing that. I think they just, like when you say he is a silent person, for me to go through that, I would be like, okay, what am I doing? But everything was so choreographed. They knew exactly what they wanted in the scene. Also, I had worked with Vinod, as Rocky also mentioned earlier, etc., on the characters. Right. We had spoken a lot about the people. So I had gone into Daulat's backstory. We had spoken about what it must be like. And if he's a quiet guy, what would it be? For me, it was just that, like, I am not supposed to do anything. So I'm just going to actually just be looking and feeling. And then the magic of editing and direction takes over, and they keep his silences and they don't cut them. And then it's lucky enough to connect with all of you all. So it's like a whole...
But Sikandar did a great job.
Thank you. Likewise, let's...
But Kaveri, the thing
is,
sorry, I want to say David Fincher's direction to Robin Penwright in House of Cards was, you are a marble statue.
Right.
Now that one direction.
Yeah.
And now you see the way that she carries herself.
Absolutely.
You feel like she's a marble statue.
Yeah.
The one direction to Sikandar, and it's not as if I'm sorry to be taking any of the credit. It is Vinod Rawat, it's Sandeep Modi, it's all of us together. And I don't even know who's told him to be stone when we're all, but that one direction, which actually after a while, like we said, we didn't call him Daulat. We said, okay, you're near a wall, so you're wallet.
Wallet. Wallet.
Perfect. But Ram, in a series that's teeming with great lines, you know, Galat and Kam Galat, he also gets the best line. So you reward him in the end. Sikandar, you have to say it.
Yeah, which one is that?
The Sherni one. That's my favorite.
Hare God, I'm never putting me under pressure. I don't even know what I say. फिर से वो बनो जो तुम हो.
Huh. And then that, you have to do that. You have to follow.
शेर नहीं बनो. अपने पंजे बाहर निकालो.
Yeah.
That's
really,
all good acting.
Yeah, I mean, what lines they seem to, and yet they seem effortless. Not that, you know, they seem too practiced or too. So a lot of good writing as well, Ram, right?
Yes, no, certainly. And this is thanks to Sandeep Srivastav and Anu Singh Chaudhary, who are our writers and who Sandeep Modi was very, very much involved in. And to do, see, we love dialogue baji, right? In Hindi cinema. Yeah. Dialogue baji is something which we have lost the sort of ability to enjoy it because we believe that it's cheesy in the way that it's delivered.
Yeah.
And therefore it has now become memes and it's become stuff that we make fun of. But excuse me, dialogue baji is precious. It's a great thing, right? Good dialogue, siti mar, you know, clap traps. I love the Hindi film jargon, right? We all grew up from everything from Jugnu to Yado Ki Barat to obviously Sholay to Yash Chopra's films. So all of these films like Bibi, Diwar, I mean, amazing work in terms of dialogue baji. And therefore our marketing campaign also said #Arya Dialogue Baji. So I like dialogues, and I think a lot of credit to Sandeep Srivastav and to Anu Singh Chaudhary for, like, you know, sort of also what happens is, but to arrive at the dialogue, to do it in a way in which it's, you don't say just throw it away, but to do it in a way in which, I mean, you can hardly see Sikandar through the mirror of the car.
Yeah.
Those hands are, you know, you want to say, can you move that mirror, I mean, the windscreen a little lower, please? I want to see those hands.
Yeah.
In a traditional Hindi movie, it would have been scanned, the same line would have been done, Panje Bahar Nikalo, Sherni. It would have been done in that way. And then we as audiences now would have gone back. Now what happens is, in the way that Sikandar and all the other actors have delivered those lines, you're going forward, you're not going back.
Yeah. And I like that about Chandrachud's dialogues. His dialogues are really conversational, you know. And the way Arya says "bacche," the way he says "sweetheart," you know, it's the way we talk. It's just so everyday. Chandrachud, sometimes did you want to pinch yourself and say, "Am I on a set or am I at home? Where am I?"
That's very true. Actually, I did feel like that because, you know, we were caught up in so much of emotion.
Yeah.
Whether it's joy or whether it was pain or whether it was drama, the tears were real, the feelings were real, the moments were real. It was, as Ram says, I'm in the pursuit of truth. And that's what all of us actors were in the pursuit of, because we had a free flow for a certain amount of time. So everybody got into the zone. So the tears you see are real. The emotions you feel are very real because they were actually happening quite spontaneously. Even the children, they were brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, one felt there was so much of an equation with each other that one, as you said very clearly, that one, you know, felt like, is this the reality or is it the dream? It was surreal, actually.
Yeah. And
but I'm sorry, I'll just interrupt for a minute. The other thing about speaking, real speak is that what happens is, now I know my dialogue. You know your dialogue. But what has to happen is, I have to be, while I'm saying this line, I have to be thinking about my next line.
Right.
So that this line feels like the inner whirrings of my mind.
Right.
Allow you to see that my eyes are thinking about what I'm going to say next.
Right.
And that is what makes dialogues real.
Right. So you know in a way what's going to come next, but it still surprises you.
Because you are not told to do it in that way. So because there's no rehearsals, and these are the milestones, and because the two actors now will play kabaddi to arrive at the scene. So
Hmm.
the scenes would, and then obviously the editors, Khushbu and Agarwal and Abhimanyu, who now have to take 250 hours of rushes and bring
250.
it 250 hours of rushes.
Wow.
Because the system means you're shooting with 2-3 cameras and you're there and you're observing and you're trying to catch moments, but they have to reshape it.
Yeah.
So it's the whole system is allows, therefore, again, because I'm in service of my actor, it allows them to arrive where they need to arrive.
Right. How long were your shoots? Your days must have been very, very long.
No. I run things on time. I host a shoot.
Before
I
time.
don't- Before
Before time. Yeah. It is
No,
okay.
I believe you shot it in 59 days. You were supposed to take 60. But I mean, how long is the
Yeah.
day? Even
12
the day,
hours.
12 hours. Okay.
12 hours with a 1-day break in between, with a turnaround time. So if you finish, I try not to shoot after midnight, even if it is a 2 a.m. shift, because I believe human beings change after midnight. Night shoots, so please forget it.
Why is
So
that? Why is that, Ram?
After 2 a.m., the whole unit is a different unit, it's just everybody's, so you can do a night shoot, but by 12:31 bahut ho gaya. So I'll then break it up into 2 nights. I don't think we ever went beyond that, because by 4 a.m., it's everybody is like in a different zone.
Right.
And I don't think you can get good work out of it. And even when you're shooting the next day, ideally your wake-up call should be after 4 a.m. because before 4 a.m. it's yesterday. After 4 a.m. it's today.
Sikandar and Chandrachud, both of you are in a way in love with Sushmita, although you have different ways of showing it. Daulat, there's a romance there that needs to be tapped into in season 2. Please, Ram, I'm petitioning you now. You better not let us down, because there's something there that needs to be explored. How is it?
How commercial can this get? एक औरत प्यार करती है एक आदमी के साथ जिसने उसका पति का खून किया है.
But what a plot line, what a plot line. But Chandrachud, you were allowed to express your emotions, but poor Sikandar has to just stand there and just feel, and we have to see him burning up, poor guy, and he can't do anything about it.
No, mine will also what this. Sorry, carry on, man.
No, please tell me, how is it for you to play that, sort of strong, silent.
When we had gone in, when we were doing our workshops and all, we had gone into the backstories. You were generally talking about Daulat, how you see Daulat, where he must have come from, why is he working for Zorawar, what is going on, why must he have come in touch with Zorawar, this, that. So in the backstory itself, we figured out that, okay, fine. Does he like Arya? No, yeah, he does. I felt, yeah, he does. He does have a feeling for Arya. But because, so he must have met Arya when they were really young.
Yeah.
He must have seen her playing around in the house, and he also must have been close to that age. And
he saw Arya when she was 9 years old doing Kathak.
Oh, yeah. That's when he stopped liking her, I think. No, but so basically, yeah. So the thing for this guy, Daulat, is that he's not an equal to the family.
Right.
He's fallen in love, but he's not an equal. And when you're in love, even she'll know. I feel that even she knows that you're in love, because there's an energy into people, right? When someone So I feel that she knows, obviously.
Yeah.
It's evident, But he's not going to do anything. He's not going to act upon it, because he's not equal to the family. That's why he's so fiercely such a loyal person. He's fiercely like that. He does have morals, even though he's doing stuff, but that he's paying off on a debt probably to him.
Right.
And then finally, when he sees Adi breakdown, he realizes, I paid enough of debts now. This is done. This is the last straw. Now I'm not going to do this anymore. That's why he gives off Zorawar at the end as well.
Yeah.
He's a man of fierce morals. He is a straight guy. That is what he is. So for him, it's a very big deal to step over and try to tell this woman who has probably been married and who is also not of the same, this thing that, listen, I'm going to, मैं तुम्हें अपने प्यार का इजहार भी करूँगा, वो भी नहीं.
Right.
For him, he'll not do that.
But
that's what makes him, Kaveri, that's what makes him a samurai.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Toshiro Mifune.
Mifune,
This is a samurai. This is Alain Delon from a Jean-Pierre Melville film.
Yeah.
This is a samurai, Le Samurai.
Yeah. But also, there's that scene between Jayan Kriplani and Ankur, where they talk about Daulat as possibly the son that he could have been, That is also an aspect of it, right? He's probably the son that Jayant wanted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because in some ways that's the relationship.
But that would make it very incestuous. My God, we're really going into. But Chandrachud, how was it to play?
That's now from a Shakespearean tragedy, it's become a Greek tragedy.
But it has marvelous elements to it. Chandrachud, how was it to, play this wonderful relationship with Sushmita? It's one of the most equal relationships and partnerships I've seen, even though it's a little brief. We could have had more of it, but it's a very equal relationship.
I think a lot of it had got to do with the kind of chemistry that we had as people off screen. There was a lot of bonding which was going on, and full credit to Sandeep Modi and Vinod Rawat for extracting the best out of us, because I think Sandeep Modi did a fantastic job of setting me up how I am outside my.
Right.
But
Yeah.
in the home, that I think Vinod Rawat was very interestingly involved in, more so because I think that's the way I imagined. That's the way I've been through life, in my married life too. I believe that it should be a relationship of friendship, of equals, and there should be a great camaraderie, which we had on and off set. So it became very easy. It became like a breeze, actually, so to speak. There wasn't any discomfiture. There was a certain sense of being. We didn't need to act. We didn't need to worry about anything extra. It was just a sense of comfort, which was really, really nice. And it translated itself on screen, I think.
Ram, did you incorporate his love for Hindi music into the script, or was it already written? Because music is such an important part of the...
Yeah. Well, what happened was that when we were writing it, and because we know what happens to the character after episode 1, almost after episode 1, and yet we have to keep him alive, and we didn't want to use the flashback as a crutch, because we could have used the flashback. We could have used all the normal tropes about, oh, she's alone on her bed, and then she turns and suddenly Chandrachud is there, and then his image disappears. And, we could have used all of that. And then I was thinking, how do I keep him alive? How do I keep him alive? And so I just used the help of everybody that would keep him alive. And I kept telling Chandrachud, I'm so sorry. I know that after episode 1, you're not there, but believe me, we are investing a lot in you. There will be Hemant Kumar, there will be Kishore Kumar, there will be Adi Burman. Everybody is going to keep you alive, because that is in a way, we kept him alive through that music and his love for that music. It was only later that I realized that Chandrachud, this is again the universe blessing us. It was only later that I realized that Chandrachud is a singer, because it was when he came for the workshops and we said, sir, thoda gana bhi hai. No problems. Then he starts singing. Then I say, whoa, actually he's a great singer.
He's a trained classical singer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
taught
in school.
Yeah.
I taught at Vasant Valley, Delhi. I taught folk music there.
Really? And you taught Sikandar history?
I taught Sikandar history at Doon School, and I taught music at Vasant Valley, Delhi.
Okay.
Which is why, Kaveri, which is why that relationship with Arya is history.
But Chandrachud, do you remember Sikandar from Doon School? Do you remember him?
Very clearly, very clearly.
He must have been the tallest boy in class.
I remember him very
And the
clearly.
fattest.
Fattest?
Yeah.
I can't believe that, really?
I was 140 kilos at my peak.
What?
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Amazing.
He was a very, very sweet boy. I remember him because I remember I had performed extempo. There was a master's entertainment. Sikandar, do you have any memory of that?
Vaguely, I have a clear memory of you though. It was great. You were a super teacher. We used to study at the library, just off this field, no, in that one area. We would take
Yeah.
different
Pavilion, old
pavilion, yes.
Which was there. Now it's not there anymore. Now there's a new pavilion.
Okay.
So I remember that you were walking in the Bajri out there. There was Bajri.
Yeah.
Now there's Pakka Rasta.
It's become Pakka Rasta.
Yeah, it's become Pakka Rasta. Because I went to drop my son to school, no? So it's become a Pakka Rasta there.
Okay.
So Sikandar was walking one way, and one of those times where there wasn't anybody else around, and I was walking the other way around with my books. And Sikandar says, I performed in this entertainment and directed it. It was a lot of stage play with the teachers and music and lots of fun, basically. And it went off well. So he said, I remember walking close to him, and he says, he was shorter than me, of course, at that time. Now he's taller. He says, sir, you were very good, sir. Yes, I said, thanks. Sir, you were very good, sir. With that.
How old was he then? How old were you?
12, I think.
12, so sweet. Ram, did you know this connection between them when they... It's amazing, huh? What a...
All of this was blessed. I've been trying to make Arya for 9 years, but when it happened, all of this all comes together and the universe like conspires and grace descends, and like it's been fantastic. Just in terms of just to observe the writing that is happening by, you know, the one above to try and make this happen and not telling us what the script is going to be.
But you know, Ram, let's talk a little just about the patience that is required to be in the movies. You know, it's so easy to give up, and I think all three of you are testimony to the fact that if you have talent and persistence and patience, it does finally pay off. But the journey can be very, very hard, as we've seen recently with the kind of things that are happening, especially with Sushant. The journey can be so grueling. How do you just keep yourself motivated? You know, there are moments when you slip into very dark places. What do you do, Ram?
Well, okay, since you've asked me first. Between Let's Talk and Neerja, it was about 14 years.
14 years.
And about 6 films that didn't happen,
right,
including Arya, which was meant to be a film which was scrapped a month before the shoot, even after we'd done all the recce and all the rest of that.
You had your past, you had everything.
We had everything, yeah. We were all ready to go and it didn't work. And between
Do you want to tell us who the cast was?
No, everybody knows I'm very, very fond of Kajol, was meant to be there in the film.
Oh.
Everybody knows that I've worked with her. Strangely, I'll just tell you a little anecdote about that. So what happened was that it didn't work out. I've worked with Kajol very often. I want to work with her again. I'm genuinely fond of her. And that didn't work out. It was meant to be Arya the movie. It was not meant to be a series at that time. And there was no OTT platforms in any case.
Right.
Because of that, Neerja happened, actually speaking. And then last year, I did a commercial with Kajol, which was for a cream called Charmis. I don't know whether people remember it.
Yeah,
but
of course.
the relaunch of Charmis.
Okay.
And strangely, one of the ads that Neerja had done was for Charmis.
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it was meant to happen with Kajol, and then at that time in the film it was just meant to be with one kid. It was not meant to be with 3 kids, which is what it is now.
Yeah.
And so between Neerja and now Arya, the series, another 4 years went by, and so and in total, I think between Let's Talk and Arya, the series, I must have worked on 12 feature film scripts with dialogues and everything.
God.
Now, the thing is, Peter Weir says, I don't know why we make movies. Wouldn't it be better if we go for a walk? But
a really long walk.
Really long walk, yeah. But this is the mountain that we climb, right? And this is what happens to us. There is frostbite. There are landslides. There are all kinds of things that hit us, and I don't know why we do what we do every time that now that we go out there, and we just don't come back below base camp. and we are at base camp, and again we go up there and we climb that mountain. And then, of course, the other big problem is that I have a friend who's in Bangkok who runs a restaurant whose name is Gagan. And Gagan,
Gagan Anand.
said, Gagan Anand, and he said, you know, Ram, what my mother said to me. He said, once you climb a mountain, remember, you can't climb another mountain. You have to climb down that mountain.
Yeah.
And then only can you climb up another mountain again. And I think a lot of our careers is exactly in doing this, that we are constantly climbing a mountain, which is sometimes with clothing that will protect us, but sometimes with clothing that does not protect us, because they say there's no bad weather, there's just bad clothing.
Yeah, I think that.
Let Chandrachud and Sikandar answer this.
I know. We really need to know both of you, because both of your journeys have been.
No, I want to ask Ram sir one thing. So this, I understand what you're saying, right? How do you stay positive through it, right? You're going to go through hell. I want to know his thing because it's very interesting. Actually, I wanted to hear him because a lot of people ask me this, right? And I have my process that I went through. There was failure. There was so many things. You feel low. I don't know what it is that kept me going positive, kept me from thinking in the better place.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I think for me, I don't know, but he is very, I want to ask, so what keeps you, I want to know from him, I'm interviewing him on this now.
Please. Yeah.
So you come down, you're getting bitten, you're getting frostbitten, all this is happening, you're getting hurt. How? Why is that other person not getting frostbitten? Okay, fine, never mind. You know, that person's want better clothes. He's been able to afford the better clothes, but I'm still going to come. You know, I'm still going to come down and then climb another one with shit clothes.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to feel like it's a bad place. Now, how do you keep it? How do you be you, Ram sir? Because you, as Rocky also said, it's your energy. It's beautiful. You know, it can easily be hard with all of this.
Well, first, I think one of the most important things that we have to understand is we chose to climb it.
Yeah.
Nobody asked us to climb it, right? In school, we used to have, when we were playing cricket, they used to say, you want to play cricket, otherwise take your ball, go away.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Nobody asked me. From age 16, I've been wanting to make cinema. All of the three people that are here, we are passionate about this quest and this climb and this thing in front of us, which is cinema. We're here. And how did it come? I know how it came to me, and that's a separate story. But even then, the question is, nobody asked you to do it.
Right.
Okay, so this is what we chose. And it's our decision, which does not mean, I remember after Arya, the film didn't happen, one of the other things that I did do is I gave myself a deadline. I'm pretty schedule driven. And so I said to myself, it happened on September 13th on a Saturday at 2 o'clock, you know, at approximately 2 o'clock. And I called up 50 people in the team and I said, sorry, I'm so sorry, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. My DOP, my production designer, everybody, my other actors. And I said, it's not going to happen. And by the 20th call, everybody was so sweet that I was crying. Seriously, I was crying because everybody was so, sort of supportive of what had happened. By the evening, I said to myself, I'm giving myself 24 hours to cry. 2 o'clock tomorrow, Ram, you're going to stop crying because that is it. Enough. And that's what I did. I mean, obviously these things are easy to say and obviously it does take its own course, but thankfully Neerja happened because of that. And now I realize that there is this thing, there is the universe out there writing something. And so I now trust that more and more. I trust that.
Yeah.
So Sikandar, I don't know whether this answers.
No. I understand what you're saying because see, I'll just tell you, it's everybody's natural. Like you say, that nobody asked you to do it.
Yeah.
It's a conversation you've had with yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what's kept you positive and kept you going.
Right.
A lot of people, it's very tough when you're going through that hell, it's very tough. I feel that is a blessing, sir. That is a blessing that's given from the universe, that you can be aware and you can see that in your way. For me, it's different. For me, it was okay. Nobody asked me to do it. No. It was like, dude, I'm not going to spend my entire life wanting to feel shit about other people.
Right.
Somehow I wanted to just my mind trying to look at the positive side and me knowing myself from inside. You have to have known yourself from inside now. You know yourself from inside. You know you're better than that. You know you're better than getting down into a dark space. You know you're not that person. Look at you. Look at the way you laugh. Look at the energy you give to all of us. You know that. And that's where it comes from, because that's the beauty of it. And I think that is a blessing. I think that just comes from somewhere. Not in that dark space to go even darker.
Sometimes I must say it comes from family, and certainly with me, it comes from my wife, Amita, who's also co-producer. A lot of it comes from her, because she's there watching this and making sure that I'm like, sort of okay with where I'm going. I think a lot of a support system is hugely, hugely important.
Yeah. Sikandar, for you, what was it? Because your parents are, of course, enormously successful, but they've been very supportive as well. But for you, it's still a very lonely place. It's a very lonely journey. No one can do, no one can play it for you. No one can live it for you.
Yeah.
And what you said when Sushant died, the morning of it, when you talked about how people need to be kind to each other and they need to be, it seemed very emotional. Do you want to talk a little about that?
No, that was just like, I didn't know the person. I was just angry because I know how we are as human beings. It's not the greatest thing. And even people who do even negativity and all, right? I've been there, done that also. I have also said stuff. When you're in turmoil will come out. When you're in frustration will come out. This is how I look at life. When you're positivity will come out.
Right.
Good things will be coming to you in that way. I was just angry. So even when somebody, suppose it's a troll or somebody saying really negative things, in fact, it's okay to just avoid. Like my mom always said, "Kabhi jhagda nahi karna hai, sorry bol ke nikal, usme koi problem."
Bilkul.
Okay, sorry bolne, but that's again, that's my mom's teaching, as Ram said, from since I was a child.
Right.
But my step taking it ahead was, dude, but I'm not feeling it. Nah. I'm not feeling that I want to ignore. I want to take and put my fist into the guy's face. For example. Okay. No, I'm like, but why? What it makes sense though, what my mother's saying. It's just being a more evolved person. So I started realizing, when there are people who are trying to be negative or something, I start feeling for them. So now this guy must be going through, or this girl must be going through something. That is why it's just coming out of them. That way, what's happened now, I've empathized, and I'm also going to keep my difference, and I'm just protected. So I'm also feeling for that person. So that violent energy is not coming out while I'm going away. Or like that upset energy, and I'm not sucking it in. It's actually protection for myself.
Right.
But I just said what I said because I was just angry at that moment, because a young guy who people knew just took his life. And I know what this place and all industry, everything, life is not easy. Life is not going to be easy for anyone. And how people deal with it in different ways, we don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But it was just something that I felt, and I felt like saying, and I said it. Now I don't want to get into the nitty gritty. Bol diya, main gussa tha, kar diya.
But I have to say, you have another life as a Kher Saab's chronicler. Your Insta videos are just smashing. I love them. I really look out for them. And even though you make fun of our Kashmiri accent, it's all right. He's forever poking fun at our, I'm a Kashmiri too, so I really feel for.
No, but you don't speak like him.
But I really feel for Kher Saab, forever picking it.
He's a great sport.
Yeah, he's really cool. Chandrachud, how has it been for you to be, to do Josh, marches before that, Tere Mere Sapne, come back in the middle, doesn't quite work out, go back again. You've had many, many lives. How have you dealt with them?
Yeah, I would like
and kept your smile intact. It's amazing. The smile hasn't changed at all. It's still the same smile that we all saw in, 1996, right? That's when you...
That's
a long time ago.
There's one thing I wanted to ask you before I answer. There are a lot of people asking for communication. We can do that later?
No, we'll just do that after this question.
Okay, I didn't know.
Lots of questions.
No, I'll tell you basically one of the reasons for my smile is my son. See, I've been a single father for the longest time that I remember. He is the sweetest part of my life. He keeps me young, thinking young, feeling young, playing the fool all the time. And I've been a hands-on father. So I think that really contributed, because we all have our crosses to bear.
Right.
And as positive as we make ourselves, there is definitely every individual has to go through the dark night of the soul.
Right.
And it's sometimes better to keep it to oneself. And because I'm a private person, I believe that at the appropriate time, it's important to talk of it. But I think that how to combat it. I mean, there's been music which has helped me tremendously, books which I've read, cinema which I've kept my intellect alive without an alternate profession, so to speak. I was given a variety of professions to participate in, whether it's politics, whether it's the teaching profession, which I really respect tremendously. And but I had to be a father, I had to be a hands-on father. That music helped me tremendously. Spirituality helped me tremendously. My guru, Sri Shiva Bal Yogi Maharaj, to have faith in knowing that his plans are better for me than what I want for myself.
Right.
Because what I need for myself is very different from what he's perceived that I need eventually for myself. Now, in the very same year that I got Arya, that's last year, I won't speak of the film, but I met some really terrible makers who were making a good film. But I didn't want to work with people who were negative energies. I wanted to work with a very. I was very sensitive, very vulnerable. I wanted to work within a very positive setup. And Marches was a very positive setup to work in, very honest, truthful, and there was a great sense of teamwork and positivity, and there was no negative talk. There was nothing, because Gulzar Saab was so good about it that it just permeated down, you know. And I'm so lucky to have got Ram's film, because it was as if, you know, I was supposed to go through that experience in the month of April last, so that I would get in November Arya, because I can't imagine working in a negative atmosphere. I know some people feel that that's a good way to take out work from an actor, but I think love is the best way to take work out from an actor. And I think Ram has proven that in Arya, because he's given all actors tremendous love, respect, and care, and been sensitive to their needs. I mean, I've never met such a, I've never seen such a warm atmosphere. I've never seen such pampering of actors, where everyone feels so loved and protected and secure and pampered, silly. So that's all I wanted to say.
Great. We are now, lots of questions have come in, so I'll ask them on behalf of the audience. There's Tushar Mehta, who wants to know from you, Chandrachud. He says he's a great admirer of yours since Marches. I believe that not many of us know that you started as a civil engineer with a passion for acting. How was the transition and your first break? And if you can sing Bade Achhe Lagte Hain. Aha, this was supposed to be my cue for you to end, but no problems. I mean,
Kaveri, you do realize that Chandrachud now calls me and blames me for this. He says, everywhere I go, now they just want me to sing Bade Achhe Lagte Ho.
yeah, but it's so iconic now, you know. So
No, actually,
many questions in one. So you want to quickly take them?
Sure. No, just to set the record straight, I wasn't a civil engineer. I was studying in St. Stephen's to join the civil services.
Oh, okay.
So I never was a civil engineer, but
what did you study at Stevens?
I was doing history on.
Okay.
Ji. So then, of course, I'd love to sing Bade Achhe Lagte Hain.
Sing.
बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं ये धरती, ये नदिया, ये रहना और तुम, बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं ये धरती, ये नदिया, ये रहना और तुम. I'm missing Sharan J. That's my son's name, his guitar.
Oh,
sweet.
He sings along with you?
पास कितने दूर है चांद सितारे, सच पूछो तो मन को झूठे लगते हैं सारे, हम तुम कितने पास है, कितने दूर है चांद सितारे, सच पूछो तो मन को झूठे लगते हैं ये सारे, मगर सच्चे लगते हैं। ये धरती, ये नदियाँ, ये रहना और तुम. Sorry, my voice is really bad right now.
No,
Actually,
no, it's
Great, you're sounding
so
great.
But
Great.
Kaveri, you know what? The
Yeah.
nicest thing about the song, which is when it's there in the original song, is when it says or, and
yeah.
then there is the female singer. I don't know whose voice that is. I looked it up on Google. I want to find out because it's so innocent.
Yeah.
It says or tum.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet. It's so sweet. Yeah.
Great. Sikandar, the questions for you from Shraddha Sharma. What was your process and how did you internalize Daulat's personality?
Shraddha, I think we went through this. I think you were there when we were talking about actually the process, and that is much. I hope you were there and you saw it. But yeah, it was interesting. It was a full workshop, all of us together, and it was quite. Internalizing is just keeping quiet and your eyes.
And Purnima Gureja wants to know, Sikandar, you keep your Instagram so funny and light-hearted, but here your role was so intense. How easy or difficult was the transition? Basically, she's calling you a joker, Sikandar.
That's absolutely fine. My father always said that never ever be ashamed to make a fool of yourself as an actor. I think that's a part of why I'm an actor as well. So I'm completely off my rockers in some way. And maybe that's why I'll be able to do many things. It works in my favor.
Great. To Ram from Ruhi Dubey. Okay, this is a spoiler. I'm curious to know why the twist in the story and XXX being the culprit. Okay, the father being the culprit.
Oh gosh. That's seriously out there. Well, I think one of the nice things about the OTT platform is that you can be morally complex.
Right.
You can be gray.
Yeah.
And grays means that there is more than one truth.
Yeah.
And therefore, Arya has her own truth and she wants to escape. And as a result of which, Tej is forced to go to the cops. He's forced to do it because that is what he had to do as a sacrifice for his own family.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, because of that concept, because of that action, what has happened is that the whole family has been put into jeopardy. And therefore, from the father's point of view, that means that the entire family is ruined.
Yeah.
And his truth, therefore, when we look at the 360-degree nature of what Arya's truth is versus what Tej's truth is versus what the father's truth is, to protect himself and the family again, this is what he had to do. And therefore, I think that the reason for the twist is really so because each person had their own, as we do in life, had their own truths.
Yeah. This is from Veni Mehra to Ram. She talks about your strong women characters. Arya's mother who fought for her dignity. Even Maya is seen as an independent female character who thinks of herself and her child's well-being at the end. Was it a deliberate effort to make the women so powerful and empowered?
Well, first, I am surrounded by strong women, my wife, and a lot of the people who work on our team. My wife is my co-producer in Ramadvani Films, Amita. And a lot of strong women do, my mother, there are many strong women who do surround me.
Right.
But it's not as if I wake up in the morning and say, I must make a show or a movie on strong women. And that's the way to do it. We're not here to in any way, be gender specific or biased or whatever. These are strong characters and we all are surrounded by whether it is our wives or our daughters or our mothers. We are all surrounded by strong women. So I feel that it's just something that I better make my next film into a man-centric film. But I presume it is better to be told, oh, you have women, strong women characters, rather than to be told that you have strong men characters.
Yeah, I think so too. There's another question which sort of is on the same theme. A lot of women seem to have taken away that sentiment from Arya Ram. There's this Vedika Kaushik who says there's a dialogue of Sushmita which says, "Pehle dhanda mad sambhalte the, ab bache nahi." Do you think that statement somewhere promotes the idea that men are that men can no longer be stereotypically considered to be the sole earners in a family?
Okay, so first, I suppose it's a better dialogue than to say "pehle ab aurat bache nahi," because agar aurat the to fir mother earth bhi nahi hai. So first I think that's me being facetious. That's just me being like sort of just making it a little lighter. But I think that one of the things that has happened is that a lot of men have embraced the show, right? And the reason it's not just the women who've embraced the show, a lot of men have embraced it. So let's also say that they see their own mothers, their own wives, their own daughters in that character. And I think that the idea, like to me, because I am surrounded by strong women, the idea that of, whether it's gender equality, whatever, these are things which I quite honestly don't occur to me because I just take them for granted. They are beyond, to me, they're stronger than I am all the time, So I think that is something which certainly is there in society, but it's not the reason that Arya was made.
Right.
But I'm so happy that it is reaching out to families. It is people are watching it with their parents, people are watching it with their children. I think it's great that it's reaching out. And in a way, it's a bit like a Khali experience, right? It has everything in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last message for Sikandar is from Shraddha Sharma from Australia. She says she loves you and your work. So, Sikandar, good for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And she wants you to check your Instagram DMs when you get time. Okay, Shraddha also has a question. She wants to ask about the dialogues Galat and Kam Galat. The two, that dialogue. How much do you agree with this? This is specifically to you, Sikandar.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was to Ram. Sorry, what was it?
I know it's to you.
I'm sorry. What was it? What do I think of Galat?
That Galat or Kam Galat, that dialogue. How much do you agree with it?
Yeah, it's as he said, it's grey. Life is grey.
Yeah.
So Galat and Kam Galat is there's grey.
Perfect.
It's gonna be. That's what it is. It pretty much.
And it's perfect for our times, I think.
Sometimes.
Very true.
Yeah.
I agree. It's perfect for the times.
Great. Thank you all, gentlemen. Thank you very much, and hope to see
everybody for listening.
All of you again in part 2.
Yes.
You have to find somehow a way to bring Chandrachud back. Ram, I don't know how you'll do it, but thank you all very much. It's a wonderful conversation.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm going to get into the story of reincarnation.
Reincarnation story.
Oh, yes, of course.
Ghost comes.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. See you.
It was such a long time. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruchin, thank you. Over to you.
I think I just want to say, on behalf of Tiffin Talks, I thank Mr. Madhwani, Mr. Singh, Mr. Kher for taking us through such an insightful session on one of our favorite series, Arya. And I'm sure all the fans who have gathered here on Zoom and are watching us on Facebook enjoyed this candid session. You can see the comments on the Facebook and wishes they are all giving to the team of Arya. Our heartfelt gratitude to Kaveri ma'am for making this such an interesting session. We wish Team Arya all the best. We'll be putting the video on our YouTube channel by tomorrow. And Chandrachud sir, thank you so much for Bade Achhe Rakhte Hain. You made the day for so many of us.
Yeah.
And,
thank you.
And we promise to bring you on tables some amazing sessions. Tiffin Talks is a joint initiative of Wishbox and Occasion Experts. So guys, take care and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.